Fabian, stop wasting time, man. You need to edit that new video. Come on, man. No, stop wasting time, man. Fabian.
What?
Dude, we need to get ready to go to Gamescom. Stop playing the fucking game. Fabian.
What now?
Man, stop screwing around. Avenge your killed wife, for God's sake.
Games. We never can get enough of them. And when we do, we play games in those games. What a time we live in. But in all honesty, games are addictive, and that time slot we have for playing those games are filled easily. Be it racing on big birds, or just cruising and chilling around in town, or even just avenging your woman that just got killed, or, you know, Apache helicopter or space whale.
Okay.
Here are 5 minigames we just can't get enough from. We start out straight away with a minigame that I am guilty of playing more than the actual game, well, at least in the beginning and the end. This minigame was so good it made us forget the lack of the card game. Yes, it's Blitzball. This minigame alone had an awesome cutscene in the intro showing us the amazing content and abilities we had in that water sphere. We ended up only being able to play from side to side. Well, until Aaron showed up and fucked up the whole place. But enough blaming Aaron, the misshape of our story, dream, or nightmare. The minigame went so deep. You had the ability to hire new players over the whole world and thus create your own team until you've reached your dream team. You had to grind level your players and play games against all those other players to learn those new techniques so you can finally unleash a Venom Tackle 3 and then unleash a Eject Shot all over the place. And believe me, the grind already started in that first game. I kept on playing it until I won. What? It had an in-game trophy. And let us not forget the disappointment Waka unleashes them. But not only the grind, just the whole setting of Blitzball gave that Final Fantasy vibe and made you forget all about that wonderful, wonderful card game. Next is bowling. Well, really not only bowling, you had tennis and dating, a million minigames really in GTA. Yes, Grand Theft Auto. A game persistent on making you go off the rail and load a carnage in Liberty City or Los Santos. And yet, you still get drawn out of the game into a minigame. Because Roman is bored. And no matter what, I always got sucked into those minigames. It's just like real life. You have to meet with your friends to do stuff with your friends so you can get a bigger bond with those friends and do even more stuff with those friends. Really, it is just a sales technique of any DLC in an EA game or any EA game. Despite being a nuisance half the time, the minigames of Grand Theft Auto are good enough to become a game of its own. The tennis is nice and relaxing after a hard day of work, stealing, killing, and creating a crime wave, and at that moment nothing feels as good as having that win in tennis. Or beating your cousin Roman in bowling. That spree of throwing down pins truly does take away the stress of throwing down human lives. In the world of gaming, there are many sorts of games, and one of Yannick's favorites is racing games. And you guessed it, it's also his favorite minigame. Go figure. So, there is Grand Theft Auto Racing, Shenmue Forklift Racing, Spyro Flying Missions.
What? I like racing. Come on.
But racing in games really is often a good switch in a game, and one of the races we all went crazy on is Chocobo Racing. It had an amazing offload to it, and in Final Fantasy VII it had the whole breeding feature in it, that the better you breed is, the higher your stamina would be and races would go. In Final Fantasy X it was a necessary thing to get the Sun Sigil, and in Final Fantasy XIV, the online one, it just made things go faster, and in Final Fantasy 15 it was, well, let's just say the chocobos and the racing was one of the nice things I have to say about that game. If it would do and move like we asked, Well, at least it does look like and sound like a chocobo. None of that fucking Final Fantasy 13 rubbish. One of the most common minigames we find in any RPG is fishing. And I know what you're thinking.
Another cheeky Final Fantasy reference!
Well, you are wrong, because fishing has been going for such a long time in those games. Not only in Final Fantasy 15, and there is a new VR fishing game about it. Fishing has been a minigame in RPGs for such a long time, from World of Warcraft to Fable to Zelda. Nothing truly takes away the stress from saving the world like fishing. And now I know what some of you might be thinking right now, but it's just throwing a line and catching a fish. That's not true. Every game has their own minigame adaptation to it. Some were reflex based like in WoW or Animal Crossing, others had a trigger system of drawing them in and going too fast you would lose them. And honestly, if you really think it's just throwing a line, go fish in Breath of Fire. It's got whales.
And nothing's as relaxing more than catching a whale. It really does say that you, and you alone single-handedly, are supposed to save the world. But hey, I get it. We stop for a moment, get all that stress off our shoulders and just fish and catch ourselves some whales and, you know, the world can wait. I get it. I get it.
Our number one entry of this week is something everybody's guilty of. The whole setting of a card game in a game made it become their own games. You got the Tetra game in Final Fantasy that took hours of us away beating Zell's mom to apparently get the Zell card and prepare us for the online deal in the Final Fantasy 14 card game. But really, there's just one that we enjoyed the most, and that is Gwent.
It really makes you think, why does nobody want to play a card game against Gerald? We don't care you got wares to sell, play as a card game!
The game was so popular, it joined the mainstream idea of any game series. Let's make a standalone card game about it. But just like Hearthstone, Gwent is a massive successful adaptation of it. The idea is a game invented about dwarves, and you have two armies duking it out for 3 rounds. Well, if you do a good job at it. You get to choose 4 factions, and after that, you just duke it out online, or in-game against the people.
And there you have it, 5 minigames we can't stop playing. Leave a comment down below to let us know which minigames you can't stop playing. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe for more videos like these, and until next time, thanks for watching, bye!